Welcome to This Place, where they live, where they work, and where they find meaning and joy. This week we hear from Joaquín Lara Midkiff in Salem.
Salem is an interesting place because it's in the heart of this very verdant, productive agricultural valley, the Willamette Valley. And folks have lived in what is now Salem for thousands of years. And the old languages of the Kalapuya was Chimekada, which is the gathering place. And people have gathered here sometime immemorial. Salem is not particularly old. It was established in the 1800s, but it is home to places that are historic, like the oldest University of West Mississippi, Willamette University. It's also the state capital after Oregon City lost that distinction. And it's a kind of a confluence of cultures and places. My experience of Salem, I would say, is probably different from most, not having grown up here as a kid, but coming here to be a part of what later became known as a dual language program. And so I grew up in a generation of Oregonians where my entire life was not in English. It was in Spanish. And I mean that almost literally. You spoke Spanish at home, and you went to school and Spanish was spoken in the classroom. And your instruction was Spanish language instruction through high school. And you got your high school diploma in the Spanish language. That spoke to kind of changing demographics of the state and the beautiful confluence of cultures that accompanied that change. Personally, by way of my father, we came from an indigenous community in southern Mexico and the Coahuila region of southeastern Guerrero, Mexico by Oaxaca. And he's one of tens of thousands of indigenous migrant farmers who came in the 80s and have spent a lot of time and now generations building place in the Mid-Valley, and Salem is a part of that. So for me, it's a big place that was intimate with family and the networks of culture and belonging that accompanied that. We moved to Salem in 2008 after a childhood in the countryside. And so it's kind of an evolving thing for me, Salem home. When I moved here for the first time, it was this big mega town. When I moved from a town of 1,800 people, it's evolving. Right now, home is, as we're consolidating our household, it's where my grandmother and my family is. And so that'll be here in South Salem. There's a park about 15 minutes out in Wallace. I lived for 17 years in West Salem that hugs the river, the Willamette River, and is a beautiful place to go away and be among the trees and the greenery and to listen to the water. And Minto Brown is also a beautiful place. And so we're very lucky here because we have access to nature and a lot of beautiful green spaces. There's a lot of places that I have familial attachments to or kind of claims to being home or homelands, but none quite like Willamette Valley. The only thing that comes close maybe is my father's home community in Mexico, which I've only been to a handful of times, but there's a certain ease, being able to really relax your muscles and breathe in some really beautiful air that isn't really found elsewhere other than here for me. Salem has a thriving arts community and great restaurants and very diverse cultures and languages and actually quite large refugee community. And if you want to experience these languages and different foods and beautiful streetscapes and the water and the parks and beautiful sunsets and be a stone's throw from wine country, you probably should slow down and pull off on one of the 3 or 4 exit signs that mark Salem.
That was Joaquín Lara Midkiff in Salem. This Place is produced by Oregon Humanities and edited by John Richardson. To hear more stories from This Place, visit OregonHumanities.org or subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.